special counsel Jack Smith indicting former President Trump again this week in the dropped January 6th case. This new indictment was revised after the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. Trump is still facing the same 4 federal offenses he was originally charged with in this case, but Smith has reframed the arguments, removing allegations against Justice Department officials.
This is their last hurrah in trying to use lawfare to derail President Trump's candidacy leading up into November. And I think that's the key message that we need to deliver to the American people.
They tried to imprison him. They tried to take him down. They tried to even kill him. They tried to bankrupt him. And they're still trying.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and let's talk about the latest episode in the never-ending drama that is Donald Trump. You might have heard about that rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where things got, well, let's just say pretty intense. A tragic shooting happened, a retired firefighter lost his life, and a couple of others were hurt. But what really takes the cake? The conspiracy theories that followed faster than you can say fake news.
The swamp is a crazy, scary place these days. Think about it. Since last month, a lot of us believe a good portion of the government must have had something to do with President Trump, the attempted assassination, and the coup against Joe Biden. What's Kamala going to do up against this stuff?
Now, before the facts even made it to the news, Trump's diehard fans, yep, the MAGA crowd, were already blowing up Democrat phones with wild claims. Joe Biden tried to assassinate Trump, they cried. And they stuck to that story like it was their last dollar at a casino. Never mind the fact that the shooter was a Republican. Nope, they just knew it was a grand conspiracy from the left. And of course, the right-wing media, always happy to stir the pot, jumped right on the bandwagon. Maria Bartiromo, Greg Kelly, the whole crew, all pushing this ridiculous idea that the White House was somehow behind the attack. No evidence, no logic, just pure unfiltered nonsense. But hey, when you're desperate, any story will do, right?
At one point, Donald Trump did talk about his attempted assassination on him back in Butler in July. And he seemed to hint that he believes that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris bear some responsibility. But the point about the rhetoric is something we actually have heard Donald Trump and many Republicans argue, that it was the rhetoric and the language that Democrats use against him that contributed to this person attempting to shoot Donald Trump. And so a lot to unpack there. I think you're going to probably continue to hear some of this. And as we know, as we move closer to November, a lot of these attacks are getting more personal, more nasty. And that's kind of where Donald Trump laid this yesterday.
But here's the thing, folks. When you actually look at the facts, yes, those annoying little things called facts, you see a different picture. The shooter wasn't some secret agent for the Democrats. In fact, he was a registered Republican. And speaking of pathetic, let's talk about Trump's response. After all this, what does he do? After a bit of time passes and folks start talking, he finally gives the widow of the firefighter a call. Real thoughtful, huh? And then he's out there hugging a firefighter's uniform with the name misspelled, because nothing says I care like getting someone's name wrong in a photo op. This is classic Trump. Everything is about the show, not the substance. Let's be real, folks. Trump has always been about optics, not empathy. And the timing couldn't be more convenient. Trump's always had a knack for distracting us from the real issues. You've got to hand it to him. He's a master of misdirection. Right when the focus should be on new indictment by special counsel Jack Smith, Trump and his allies whip up this conspiracy to draw attention away. But why all this drama? Simple. It's a distraction, folks. A big shiny object to keep us all looking the other way while they push something much more sinister, Project 2025. Now, if you haven't heard of this, it's a little plan that could wreak havoc on healthcare, the environment, and, well, just about everything that matters to regular people like you and me. Picture this. Over 80,000 federal officers and 1 million federal workers fired, leaving essential services in shambles. Who's going to respond when you dial 911 in a crisis? And don't even think about rural areas. They've already crossed those off the map. Trump doesn't care about any of that. He's too busy playing the victim, acting like he's under attack from every direction. It's all part of the show, designed to keep you from focusing on the real issues. Issues like how Project 2025 could roll back safety regulations, leave us with polluted water, and cripple our 911 response times. But do Trump and the Republicans care? Of course not. They're too busy trying to take us back to a time when women were barefoot in the kitchen and the environment was an afterthought.
You ever seen a document that could kill a small animal and democracy at the same time? Here it is. You know how when you download an app and there are hundreds of pages there that you don't read, it's just the terms and conditions, and you just click agree, right? Well, these are the terms and conditions of a second Trump presidency. You vote for him, you vote for all of this.
Let's talk about Project 2025 for a minute. This isn't just some harmless policy proposal. It's a dangerous blueprint for dismantling the federal government as we know it. The Heritage Foundation, the folks behind this plan, want to take us back to a time before we had basic safety and climate regulations. They're looking to gut environmental protections, leaving our water, air, and food supply at risk. And they're betting that Trump will be their puppet, pushing through these radical changes while distracting the public with his usual antics. And let's be honest, Trump doesn't give a hoot about the American people. Look at how he treated Corey Comparatori's family. The man has no compassion, no integrity, no diplomacy. He's a one-trick pony who's running for president, not to serve the country, but to escape justice. And trust me, folks, justice is hot on his trail. Did you catch him in Arizona? His makeup was melting like butter on a baked potato while he rambled on like the decrepit wreck that he is. This man is running scared, and all his bluster is just hot air from a worn-out old windbag. But we can't let ourselves get distracted by the circus act. We need to focus on what he's actually trying to do, push an agenda that could dismantle everything we've fought for. So let's not get sucked into this sideshow. Let's keep our eyes on the prize and focus on what really matters, the future of our country, our health care, our environment. Trump's been singing the same old tune for years, but we've heard enough. It's time to hold him accountable, to push back against the lies, and to fight for what's right. Because at the end of the day, Trump's just a raggedy wizard behind the curtain, trying to keep up an image while hiding the fact that he doesn't measure up. And folks, it's time to pull the curtain back for good. And that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.